Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, When Boy Hears the Sound of Keys. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Every home has its own music. Some homes hum with the sound of appliances, some with laughter, some with silence. In our home, the most powerful sound of all was not loud at all. It was the soft, metallic jingle of keys. Boy learned this sound long before he understood many other things. Before he knew the meaning of sit or stay, before he figured out which shoes were safe to chew and which would earn him a gentle but firm no, he knew the keys. They lived in a small wooden bowl near the door, mixed with a coin or two and a tiny faded keychain shaped like a paw. Most of the day, they were still. But when they moved, everything changed. On a quiet afternoon, the house felt sleepy. Sunlight spilled across the floor, stopping just short of Boy's favorite spot near the sofa. He lay there, his chin resting on his paws, eyes half closed, ears relaxed. Outside, the world moved on. Motorbikes passed, a neighbor called out to someone. A bird landed briefly on the balcony rail. Inside, time moved slowly. Then it happened. A hand reached into the bowl. The keys touched each other. Clink. Boy's ears lifted instantly, as if pulled by invisible strings. His eyes opened wide, dark and shiny, filled with sudden purpose. His tail gave a small, cautious wag, not yet fully convinced. He raised his head, listening again. Clink, clink. This time, there was no doubt. In less than a second, Boy was on his feet. The sleepiness vanished from his body like it had never existed. His tail began to wag in wide, hopeful arcs, tapping lightly against the side of the sofa. His paws moved him closer to the door, but he stopped halfway, sitting down politely, because somewhere in his heart, he believed good things came to dogs who waited. To Boy, the sound of keys was not just a sound. It was a story. Sometimes it meant a walk, his favorite word, even if no one had said it yet. Sometimes it meant someone was leaving, which made him tilt his head and watch closely, trying to decide if this was a moment to worry or a moment to trust. Sometimes, and these were the best times, it meant someone was coming home. He didn't know which one this would be, but hope always arrived first. He looked up, eyes following every movement. When the keys finally lifted into the air, Boy let out a small, excited huff. His whole body leaned forward, ready. Whatever came next, he would meet it with joy. Because that was who Boy was, a dog who believed that every sound might lead to something good. There were days when the sound of keys meant goodbye. On those mornings, the house felt different. The air moved faster. Shoes appeared near the door. Bags were checked and rechecked. Boy followed closely, his nails making soft clicking sounds on the floor as he tried to stay out of the way while still staying close. When the keys jingled on those days, Boy's tail wagged, but more slowly. He watched faces carefully, reading expressions the way only dogs can. He looked for clues, tone of voice, speed of movement, whether someone crouched down to scratch his ears or kissed the top of his head. Sometimes, someone did kneel beside him. They would tell him they'd be back soon, even though Boy didn't understand the words. What he understood was the warmth of the hands, the calm in the voice, the promise carried in the touch. In those moments, the keys didn't feel so scary. When the door finally closed, Boy would sit by it for a while. Not because he was sad in the way humans think of sadness, but because he was loyal to the moment. He believed that if he waited just a bit longer, the sound might come again. He believed in returns. And often, he was right. In the afternoon or evening, when the house was quiet again, Boy would nap lightly. He never slept too deeply when he was alone. His ears remained alert, always listening for that familiar sound. The world outside could be noisy, but he could tell the difference. He knew the rhythm of those keys the way people recognize the footsteps of someone they love. Then, one day, it happened again. Clink, clink. Boy's head lifted before his mind even caught up. His body reacted first, tail wagging, heart quickening. He ran to the door, skidding slightly on the smooth floor, then stopped himself and sat down, because sitting felt polite and hopeful. The keys turned in the lock. Click. The door opened. And just like that, the space that had been empty filled with warmth again. Boy's excitement overflowed. He spun in a small circle, his tail wagging so hard it looked like it might lift him off the ground. He didn't jump right away. Instead, he wiggled, whined softly, and waited for permission. When it came, he leaned in with his whole body, pressing his head against familiar legs, breathing in a scent that meant safety. For humans, coming home was often ordinary. A routine, another task completed. For Boy, it was a miracle that happened again and again, and he never grew tired of believing in it. Watching Boy react to the sound of keys changed the way I saw my days. At first, I thought it was just a cute habit, a funny little thing he did. But over time, I realized it was something deeper. Boy wasn't reacting to metal and sound. He was responding to meaning, to connection, to the possibility of shared time. In a world where humans rush constantly, checking phones, watching clocks, thinking about what comes next, Boy lived fully in the moment between the sounds. When the keys moved, he paid attention. When nothing happened, he rested. When someone left, he trusted they would return. When someone came home, he celebrated like it was the best moment of his life, every single time. From Boy, I learned that presence is a gift we give each other. Animals don't measure love in hours or days. They measure it in moments, a sound, a touch, a familiar routine. They remind us that consistency builds trust, and trust builds peace. In today's busy life, we can learn a lot from Boy. We can learn to notice the small sounds that matter, the signals from people we care about. We can learn to slow down and truly arrive when we come home, not just physically, but emotionally. Putting down our phones, greeting our pets and loved ones with real attention, and honoring routines can strengthen bonds more than grand gestures ever could. Most importantly, Boy teaches us kindness through reliability. When we show up again and again, we create safety for animals and for people. By being patient, attentive, and present, we build a better relationship between humans and animals, one filled with trust, joy, and mutual understanding. Sometimes, a better life doesn't start with big changes. Sometimes, it starts with simply listening, like a dog does, when the keys begin to ring.